Baby, listen to me and listen with the part of your spirit that still doesn't quite believe a man can keep his word. Last night I made a vow that wasn't pretty or poetic or designed to impress anybody. It wasn't for social media. It wasn't for a screenshot. It wasn't for clout. It was a vow whispered through gritted teeth while my hands shook and my chest burned, because I realized the thing I've been too quiet about has been costing you sleep, safety, and peace. I swore, if anyone touches you again, it's over for them. Not the movie scene version, not chaos, not drama for views. I mean access. Over. Permission. Over. Proximity. Over. The little open doors people think they have to your body, your boundaries, your life. Shut. The back channels, the late night numbers, the it was just a joke, the we were just playing, the don't be so sensitive. Done. I will not stand in a room where you are disrespected and say nothing so I can look easy. I will not keep the peace by letting you bleed quietly. I am done letting anyone treat you like a costume they can put on and take off for entertainment. I am not that man anymore. I'm the one who steps between you and the noise and says, you will talk to her with respect or you won't talk at all. And I said it like a contract with God, because what I feel for you is too holy to keep letting clowns parade through it like a carnival. Oh, I need you to understand where this came from. It wasn't sudden. It was stacked. Little moments I didn't love you out loud enough when it mattered. The time at that party, when that guy brushed past you and you laughed it off, but I saw your shoulders tense, and I told myself, don't make a scene. The time your own friend made a slight comment about your body in a group chat, and I convinced myself you didn't need me to defend you. The time a relative tried to reframe your boundaries as attitude, and I swallowed it because I was raised to keep family harmony at any cost. But your sleepless nights are a cost. Your silence after those moments is a cost. The way you started standing further from people, the way you started crossing your arms when you talked, the way your laugh got a little smaller month after month, that was a cost. And last night, sitting in my car outside the house with the engine off, phone face down, I realized I've been paying for a fake peace with your real safety. I realized there was a version of me that thought a good man stays calm while the people around him do little violences to the woman he loves, and he calls it maturity. No, baby, that isn't maturity. That's cowardice dressed up in politeness, and I've worn it long enough. So I swore. I swore on the dashboard light in the rearview mirror, and the reflection of a man I barely recognized. I swore that if anyone reaches for you in a way that makes your skin flinch, I end the relationship. If anyone jokes about your body, I end the friendship. If anyone thinks your no is negotiable, I make it permanent. I reorganize my entire circle in my mind, like a chessboard, and I started removing pieces. The ones who flirted with disrespect to see if I would notice. The ones who think protecting your woman is controlling her instead of controlling the room. The ones who only like you when you're silent and only respect you when you're useful. I thought about every threshold you should never have had to cross barefoot. I thought about every time you went home and scrubbed your spirit clean because somebody's words got on you like grease. And I felt it, baby. I felt the heat rise in me, not the kind that starts fights, but the kind that builds a boundary and says, this house is under new management. If you felt the air change last night, that was me. That was the contract. That was the shift. I know what some people will say. They'll say I'm doing too much. They'll say I'm finally stepping up because I'm trying to earn my way back into your good graces. They'll say men only protect when they want to control. Let them talk. The difference is, I'm not protecting you from the world while leaving you unprotected from me. I'm not asking for your location while leaving you unsure of my heart. I'm not drawing lines around your freedom while leaving my own blurred. I am starting with me, my habits, my circle, my discipline, my mouth. I'm cutting the attention I used to feed on. I'm dissolving the little pockets of temptation that become big fires later. I'm blocking the just-in-case numbers that men keep like spare tires. I'm choosing transparency like it's oxygen. You don't need a guard dog. You need a man whose peace is so clean that when he stands beside you, the room learns what respect feels like without him saying a word. Let me paint the picture of how it's going to look from now on. We walk in anywhere together. Family dinner, game night, office function, church lobby, cookout on a Sunday. And I am attentive like it's a practice, not a performance. I'm not hovering. I'm aware. I'm not insecurely checking your phone. I'm reading the room. The jokes, I clock them. The looks, I clock them. The alcohol excuses, I clock those too. The first time someone crosses your line, they get corrected with words. The kind you can replay and hear the respect in, even when you hate being checked. Hey, we don't talk to her like that. Don't touch her again. That comment doesn't fly here. I'll say it in a tone that leaves no scrape marks, because I'm not trying to embarrass people. I'm trying to retrain the environment. If they persist, they lose access. If it's family, we take space. If it's a friend, we step back. If it's work, we escalate professionally and document receipts. Protection isn't yelling. Protection is policies. Protection is systems. Protection is having a plan that holds even when my feelings don't. I know you're wondering, why now? Because last night something snapped and healed at the same time. I remembered your face after the last time somebody crossed you and said, I was just playing, and I remember you nodding like you believed them because you were trying to keep the peace. But your eyes, they were glassy and far away, like you had left your body for a second just to survive the moment. I should have taken your hand right then and said, no more, ever. Instead, I tried to make it small. I tried to be rational. I tried to say, he didn't mean it like that. I gaslit you because it was easier than confronting the dynamic. I gaslit you because I didn't want to be the difficult man. I won't ever do that again. I would rather be difficult than be a door. So this is me laying out the blueprint. First, my circle is on notice. I already started making calls. I already sent the text that says we're not playing that game anymore. If you love me, you'll love the way I protect her. Second, digital discipline, my DMs, my follows, my late night scrolling. I put it on a diet, not because I don't trust myself, but because I trust my future, and I won't feed it garbage. Third, language check. I'm not letting the little dig slide. Not about you, not about any woman. Fourth, presence. When you talk, I'm with you. When you say, I'm uncomfortable, that is the finish line. You never have to prove your discomfort to me again. Fifth, accountability. I got a mentor. Real talk. A married man whose integrity you'd salute. If I start slipping into old patterns, he'll break the pattern before the pattern breaks us. The plan is boring by design. Boring plans save beautiful lives. I can hear my younger self asking, but what about love? What about romance? This is love. This is romance. Grown, grounded, and consistent. Flowers are wonderful. Safety is better. Surprises are sweet. Trust is sweeter. Possessive, jealous energy gets clicks. But a calm man who keeps your world clean is the real flex. You want to know how it feels inside me when I picture somebody trying you again? Silence. Not rage. Not explosive threats. A quiet, rooted stillness that says, we don't go there. The storm used to be inside me. Now the boundary is. I'm not pacing or plotting. I'm present. Then presence is protection. I also need to say this, even if it stings. There were times you were forced to be your own bodyguard because I was busy being likable. There were times you had to freeze or fawn because I didn't want to be the man who makes it awkward. You learned to swallow your discomfort because I wouldn't carry it with you. You taught yourself how to be small in rooms I promised would feel safe. I owe you an apology you can spend, so I'm not just saying it. I'm funding it. I'm paying for therapy sessions we said we'd schedule later. I'm paying for self-defense classes if you want them, not because you should need them, but because your confidence matters. I'm paying for locks, for rides, for whatever makes your nervous system exhale. My apology has a debit card now. I know the internet thinks protection looks like danger. Men screaming at strangers, viral drama, chaos to prove love. That's not love. That's control, hungry for attention. My protection will be measured by how rarely you have to think about protecting yourself when I'm near. It'll show up in how deeply you sleep. It'll sound like my voice getting softer when you're triggered, not louder. It'll look like me stepping away from rooms that used to feed my ego because they starved your peace. It'll taste like breakfast cooked before your AA meeting because love protects your energy too. It'll feel like no flinch when a hand reaches out. Not because you've numbed yourself, but because you know my presence will never be the reason you tense. So when I say, if anyone touches you again, it's over for them, hear me clearly. I'm not threatening violence. I'm announcing a new order. I'm declaring that access to me requires respect for you. I'm saying the perk of my presence comes with the price of honoring your boundaries. I'm making my love expensive in the right direction. If I have to choose between an old friend's comfort and your safety, the choice has already been made. If I have to choose between a family member's pride and your peace, the choice has already been made. If I have to choose between a room that worships me and a life that holds you, baby, the choice has already been made. I want to talk about my mother for a second, because you know she's the one whose approval used to hold me by the throat. We were talking on the phone and she said, "You sounded different last night, like a man who finally knows what he wants to protect." And I told her, I do. I want to protect her, not because she's weak, but because she's worth it. My mom got quiet, then said, "That's the first time I've ever heard you put the two together." And I realized how long I'd separated soft from safe, like I had to pick. You never asked me to be hard. You asked me to be whole. So I'm becoming a man whose softness is guarded by structure, not by walls. Let me tell you what happens next. I'm knocking on a few doors, literal and metaphorical. I'm addressing the incident we pretended to forget, calmly, clearly, with receipts. That night was not okay. Here's how we'll handle it going forward if you can't honor this. you can't be around us. I'm changing the seating chart at events, not to isolate but to insulate. I'm auditing the innocent physicality some people think they're entitled to. Hugs that last too long, hands that travel, photos that pull you in like a prop. We're not doing that. Your body is not a community project. Your boundaries are not negotiable just because you smile often. And because this is DM to DF, say it with me. I'm not trying to own you. I'm trying to honor you. I'm not claiming you. I'm covering you. I'm not limiting your freedom. I'm lending you mine. If I have platform, I use it for protection. If I have voice, I use it for respect. If I have time, I spend it building a world where your nervous system can finally trust me. You will never again have to choose between being loved and being safe. That's my promise. Will I get everything perfect? No, I'm human. But human is no longer my excuse. It's my reason to prepare. I'm studying how to be a safe partner the same way I study for work. I'm asking questions I used to avoid. What phrases make you freeze? What environments drain you? Which people pretend they're allies but leave you smaller? What would make your daily life feel 20% safer? Right now, I'm not guessing. I'm listening. And when you say, I don't know, I don't push. I get gentle. Safety makes answers surface. Baby, I wish I could go back and stand up sooner. I wish I could rewind the party, the living room, the family dinner. But if I can't change yesterday, I'll build a today that makes yesterday irrelevant. I'll string together so many safe days that the memory of unsafe nights has nowhere to live. I'll be consistent so long the fear gets bored and leaves. I'll kiss your forehead and mean it like a prayer that keeps watch when I can't. And when life gets loud, I'll be quiet enough to hear you say, I'm okay, and honest enough to ask, are you sure? And strong enough to believe you when you say, actually, no. Here's the altar I'm laying it on. My reputation, my comfort, my old habits. I'm sacrificing the version of me that wanted to be everyone's favorite at the cost of being your safe place. I'm ending my subscription to rooms that congratulate me for being chill while you go home shaking. I'm done auditioning. The only role I'm studying for is protector with a steady hand and a soft heart. That's the man who gets to hold you. That's the man who deserves to say your name. If you're hearing this and something in you is exhaling, if your body is believing me faster than your mind, if your pulse is slowing because for once a promise doesn't feel like pressure, it's because I'm not selling you a fantasy. I'm offering you a practice, daily, boring, excellent. You won't have to post it to feel it. Your peace will be the proof. If you felt this in your bones, drop a comment that says, protected, so I know your spirit heard me. And if this message needs to cover someone you love, share it with them. We aren't raising the volume, we're raising the standard. I'll keep showing up like a wall that opens only for love and closes against everything that tries to handle you without honor. Last night I swore it. Today, I'm living it. And tomorrow you wake up and realize you didn't flinch when you opened the door. That's the new life I'm building with you, baby. One boundary at a time. Baby, I need you to hear the difference in my voice now. The way the vowels don't tremble like they used to. The way my sentences don't bargain with old habits. There is a steadiness in me I used to pretend I had, but last night it clicked into place like a lock finding its home. I sat at the edge of my bed, elbows on my knees, breathing through every scene where I kept the peace by letting you carry the bruise, and I told the mirror another man's truth. I am done apologizing for building a life where you don't have to scan the room before you smile. I am done auditioning for people who mistake your softness for permission. And I am done calling a room family if the price of admission is that your boundaries must travel with a translator. So, here's how it's going to feel from this moment forward. Simple, quiet, reliable. Not fireworks, foundation. Not chaos, clarity. You will know where I stand because you will feel where I stand. Right beside you, equal parts warmth and wall. A place where your shoulders finally forget how to reach for your ears. I walked back through the archives, those hidden places where memory is louder than any video. And I saw the pattern. It was never the big betrayals that stole our sleep. It was the 1,000 micro cuts that taught your nervous system to sprint in a house with the lights on. The playful shove that lasted a second too long. The compliment that felt like a receipt being demanded. The cousin's party where your no had to be explained in 3 different dialects before someone believed it counted. The coworker who hugged you with a hand that traveled like it was looking for an exit it hadn't earned. I used to categorize these moments as awkward. I used to say they didn't mean it, as if intent could stitch what impact sliced open. But I'm a student now, and the first lesson is this. Protection starts where comprehension begins. So I'm learning what your body already knows. I'm learning to trust the tightening in your jaw more than the chuckle you offer to keep the room calm. I'm learning that love is measured in how quickly I adjust when you whisper, "This doesn't feel right," not in how eloquently I debate the feeling away. I called my brother this morning because I needed to hear my new voice bounce off someone who knows my old one too well. I told him I'm done being the man who mistakes not causing a scene for being a man. He went silent in that laugh we share when truth lands heavier than our jokes, then said, "So what's the plan?" And it hit me. Men talk about love like weather. We rarely talk about architecture. So I told him the plan like blueprints, thresholds, not theatrics. I'm placing boundaries at the entrances where the trouble sneaks in with a smile. I'm rewriting my RSVP rules so good vibes includes good behavior by definition. I'm updating my home's culture like it's a living document because it is. He asked if I was worried people would think I'm doing too much. I said if someone believes your safety is too much, they have told us everything we need to know about their access going forward. There's a piece of my heart that still mourns the years I wore reasonable like armor. Reasonable men watch you fold yourself small so their friends won't feel big feelings. Reasonable men say, "Let's talk about it after." When after is exactly when shame empties a woman's pockets. Reasonable men ask for proof when her body already delivered the verdict. I am choosing a different adjective. Responsible. Responsible means I am willing to be misunderstood by the crowd so you feel understood by the one person who promised to stand with you. Responsible means I do not need your pain to be a documentary to believe your whisper. Responsible means I carry the awkward so you don't have to carry the injury. And if that makes me the difficult son or the extra friend, then good. I will turn those labels into lumber and build us a porch from which you can wave at every person who said we were doing too much while we are busy thriving too well. Yesterday I drafted messages I would have avoided a year ago. They were not threats. They were not invitations to argue. They were mirrors, held steadily. Hey, I want to be clear about something that happened on Friday. That comment wasn't acceptable. Going forward, the way we speak to her and about her has to match what we mean when we say family. If you can't honor that, we'll take space. I hit send with a pulse that didn't stutter, not because I enjoy conflict, but because I believe in clarity as a love language. The replies are trickling in, some apologizing, some explaining, some trying to negotiate with the word just. It was just a joke. I was just playing. She's just sensitive. I used to fold here. Not anymore. I am allergic to just. It is the word that shrinks too many women into rooms where their bodies and voices are taxed before they are heard. Though my responses are calm and unbending, I appreciate the apology. Here's the new standard. I am teaching the people who say they love me how to love you too. And if they won't learn, then they never loved me in a way that deserved you standing next to me. I need you to know how the vow feels inside my body because I never want you guessing again. It feels like a slow breath before I speak. It feels like my hand finding your hand first before I find the right phrasing. It feels like my back straightening when you say this room isn't safe, and the immediate answer being, we leave, not convince me. It feels like my phone turned face up, my calendar shared, my whereabouts uninteresting to secrets. It feels like the end of the open loops you had to track for two. All those little question marks that take a woman's focus hostage. Who will be there? Will they behave? Will he notice? Will I have to carry it alone? My love, the vow closes loops. The vow is an answer key. The vow is the fatigue finally walking out of your shoulders, like it found the door it's been begging for. There was a time when I thought grand gestures could fix quiet injuries. Roses in a room that made you shrink. Dinners after a day you spent being polite to survive. Vacations to recover from a culture I refused to recalibrate. But romance that follows respect is nourishment. Romance that replaces respect is anesthesia. I'm not numbing us anymore with pretty afternoons after ugly mornings. I'm building mornings that don't need cleanup. That's why you'll notice small changes that echo louder than any caption. The way I stand, where I sit, who I invite, what I ignore. You'll notice I ask better questions in real time. How do you want to be introduced in this space? Do you prefer a hand squeeze or an exit plan if it gets weird? Do you want me to speak now or stand with you while you speak? This isn't me choreographing you. It's me harmonizing with you. Protection that steamrolls your voice is just colonialism wearing cologne. I'm not colonizing you. I'm co-creating with you. I also did an audit of my ego, which was overdue. I found the places where I liked being the chill guy, the cool partner, the man who could handle anything because he handled nothing. I found the parts of me that wanted you to admire how unbothered I was, even while you were bothered enough for two. I fired that man. I hired a new one who was okay being the reason a room has to grow up. He isn't loud. He isn't rude. He isn't performative. He has a gift for the sentence that lands like a period at the end of a paragraph that needed ending. We don't do that here. And if someone asks, why not? He smiles, points gently to the woman beside him whose breath matters more than the game they were trying to play, and says, because she matters here, because we matter here, because respecting her is how you respect me. Let me be transparent about fear, because pretending I don't have any would make me brittle, not brave. I feared for years that if I became this man, I would be alone, that rooms would thin out, that invitations would stop, that family would call me changed, like it's a diagnosis. And some of that is true. The rooms do thin, the invitations do slow. Some people do label growth like it's a problem to solve. But the trade is holy. For every room that closes, a home opens. For every invitation that fades, an intimacy deepens. For every person who misses the version of me that left you unguarded, I meet a version of myself that guards you without losing his gentleness. I am not lonely here. I am finally accompanied by my own integrity. This is where I ask you for something that feels small but weighs gold. Tell me when you feel the difference, not to praise me, not to keep score, but because feedback is the river that keeps the garden alive. If you notice your body relax in places it used to tense, say, I noticed. If you see me miss something, don't swallow it. Hand it to me while it's small. I won't defend, I'll adjust. If I overstep because my protecting turns into projecting, pull me back to the rhythm we set together. I don't want to be a wall that blocks the sun. I want to be a canopy that turns harsh weather into soft shade. Your voice is my compass. Your yes and your no are both holy words, and I will not make either of them expensive for you to say. And because love is also logistics, here are a few practices I've already put in motion, so this isn't just poetry. I set up a shared note called Room Rules, where we write what makes us feel safe at recurring gatherings. Names, patterns, phrases to avoid. I created a code we can use mid-conversation that means exit now. And I will honor it the first time, no questions. I added recurring check-ins after social events, not interrogations, just a short debrief where your nervous system gets the last word. I asked 2 men I respect to be my mirrors, not my cheerleaders. If they see me slipping into old politeness, they'll tell me before it turns into old pain. And I found a counselor for myself, because protecting you means I'm not outsourcing my healing to your patience anymore. If I see the patience in your ears, you're thinking about your own pain. I asked him the same thing. Let's outsource your patience. Because protecting you means I'm not outsourcing my healing to your patience anymore. These are the quiet screws and beams no one applauds, but they hold the roof up when the weather turns. Baby, I keep returning to one image. You walking into a room with your shoulders down, your laugh unedited, your gaze unguarded, because you know the ground you're standing on has been checked for nails. That's what this vow is for, not to make me look heroic, but to make you forget what flinching feels like. Not to earn a medal, but to build a morning where you sip your coffee and realize you didn't rehearse 10 different exits in your mind before noon. I want our love story to be famous to us, for peace, not famous to them for spectacle. I want to be the reason you trust your own softness again, not the reason you had to weaponize it. If your heartbeat slowed anywhere in this, if your lungs expanded even a fraction, if your spine sat up because it recognized a home it wants to live in, then say it with me in the comments. No more just. Let the world know we retired the word that excused too much for too long. And if there's a woman watching who needed this said out loud, send it to her. Tell her there are men learning the architecture of safety, not the theatrics of possession. Tell her that love can be both tender and trained. Tell her that when a man says, if anyone touches you again, it's over for them, the real promise is not his temper, it's his policies. I don't know what tomorrow brings except this, the same steady vow, repeated quietly, enforced consistently, upheld kindly. I will not build a life where you have to choose between being loved and being safe. I will not ask you to be less so I can be liked more. I will not let family or friend or we go way back outrank the peace we promised each other. The new order is simple. Respect is the door, honor is the floor, truth is the air, and love, real love, is the light we leave on, so you never again have to feel your way through the dark. Baby, the vow I spoke last night didn't stay in the dark. It didn't vanish into the silence like so many promises I once whispered and then buried. No, this one rooted itself in me like an unshakable seed. And the more I sit with it, the more I realize it is not just about protecting you from others. It is about finally becoming the man who refuses to betray you with his silence. I spent too long letting the world test you while I stood back, convincing myself that keeping calm was noble, that keeping the peace was love. But baby, peace is not real if it comes at the price of your safety. Peace that costs you sleepless nights, forced smiles and clenched fists is not peace, it is prison. And last night, when I swore that if anyone touches you again, it's over for them, I was not just speaking against their behavior, I was speaking against the coward I once was. That man is over, that man is finished. I sat awake replaying every time you carried yourself like a warrior when you should have been free to be soft. I thought about the dinners where I let comments slide, the gatherings where I let glances go unchecked, the subtle touches that made you fold your arms across your chest while I laughed it off. And God, it broke me. Because each time I stayed silent, you had to build armor from nothing but your own strength. And now I see it. Silence was not neutral. Silence was siding with them. I cannot undo those moments, but I can burn that script and write a new one. One where you never again wonder if I see what's happening. One where you never again doubt if I will speak up. One where you never again carry your pain alone, while I pretend not to notice. This vow is changing me from the inside out. Baby, even my body feels different. I walk differently now. My shoulders square, not because I want to look strong, but because I know what I'm standing for. My eyes scan not to catch flaws, but to make sure no shadow crosses your light. My hands, these same hands that once stayed in my pockets while you defended yourself, are steady now, not clenched in rage, but ready to move the moment you say, I'm not okay. That's the kind of man I swore to be. Not a man who explodes after the damage is done, but a man who prevents the harm before it reaches you. And when I think of the future, I picture it differently now. I don't just see us walking into rooms together. I see the invisible circle of safety around you. I see people noticing how I carry you. Not like a trophy, not like a possession, but like a living prayer I've been trusted to protect. I see them realizing that when they speak to you, they are speaking into a covenant. When they address you, they are addressing the part of me that vowed last night to never let disrespect slip through unchallenged. And maybe, just maybe, some of them will learn from it. Maybe they'll carry that respect into how they treat their own partners. Maybe the ripple of this vow will go further than just us. But hear me, baby, this vow is not only about the outside world, it is about me too. I swore that I would never again be the one who hurts you by neglect, by pride, by absence. I swore that I would not let my own insecurities speak louder than your need for reassurance. I swore that I would not hide behind busyness or excuses, when what you need is my presence. Last night, I promised not only to protect you from them, I promised to protect you from me, from the version of me that thought love was proven by words but not by consistency, from the version of me that thought you would always understand even if I didn't explain, from the version of me that thought you would always stay even if I failed to fight for you. That man is gone. This vow buried him. Baby, I know words are easy. You've heard them before. You've seen me promise and then get pulled back into old patterns. That's why I'm not asking you to believe this vow, because of how it sounds. I'm asking you to believe it because of how it feels. You'll feel it in the calm of your chest when we're together. You'll feel it in the way I answer quickly when you say, I need you to hear me. You'll feel it in the way I leave rooms that once drained you without needing to explain why. You'll feel it in the way I look at you when someone crosses a line, not with hesitation, not with fear, but with immediate alignment. You'll feel it in the way my presence becomes your pause, not your panic. And I wonder, baby, do you feel it already? Do you feel the shift in the air, the way my voice has stopped wavering, the way my love no longer sounds like apologies but like policies? Because last night wasn't just a vow to you, it was a contract with myself. I decided that love without protection is incomplete, that romance without responsibility is shallow, that passion without boundaries is dangerous. And I don't want to be a shallow, dangerous man who loves halfway. I want to be the man who makes you exhale because you finally know he's not going to fold this time. He's not going to hide. He's not going to let me fight alone. So baby, let me ask you something. Can you feel the difference? Can you feel that last night was not just another moment? It was the moment I finally said no more. The moment I finally drew a line so deep it split my old self from the new one. The moment I finally chose you out loud, without compromise, without delay, without shame. If you felt that, if your soul stirred even reading this, then comment I feel the vow so I know these words landed where they belong. Because this is only the beginning, baby. Last night I swore it. Today I'm speaking it. Tomorrow I'll live it. And every day after, I'll prove it. Not for applause, not for redemption, but because you deserve nothing less than a man who makes the world safer by the way he loves you. Baby, every time I close my eyes now I see it. The vow, the shift, the line I drew in the sand that cannot be erased. It replays not like a memory but like a prophecy. And every time I breathe it back in, I realize more and more that what I swore last night was not a moment, it was a rebirth. I am not the man I was. I cannot be. That man let you stand alone. That man mistook silence for peace. That man let family or friends or circumstance override the only truth that ever mattered. You. And baby, that man is gone. What rises in his place is steady, firm, not loud, not violent, not reckless, just unshakable. Because love does not always roar. Sometimes it whispers with such conviction that the whole room listens. That's what last night felt like, a whisper to heaven that echoed like thunder through my chest, a promise so clear that even the shadows had to back up and bow. I keep seeing your face in all the moments when you deserved this version of me and didn't get him. The night you walked into that gathering with your head high, only to shrink when someone laughed a little too long at your expense. I should have cut the laughter off. I should have made the air heavy with respect, but I didn't. I told myself you were strong enough to handle it. Baby, you should have never had to be strong just to be safe. Your strength is a gift you offer the world, not armor you should be forced to wear. And yet, because of my silence, you had to use it like a shield. Now, never again. If strength comes from you, let it be by choice, not by necessity. My vow is to make space where your softness is welcome, where your laughter doesn't have to guard itself, where your smile doesn't have to negotiate with the room. Your softness will not be preyed upon under my watch. It will be celebrated, protected, elevated, baby. I sat down with myself this morning and wrote out the rules. Rules not for you, but for me. I titled them The Way I Love Her. And the first line says, her safety is my silence breaker. That means if you flinch, if you shift, if you go quiet, that's enough. That's all I need. No courtroom, no jury, no debate. Your discomfort is the verdict. My response is the sentence. Period. The second line. Her name is my honor. That means if someone speaks it carelessly, if someone wraps it in sarcasm, if someone reduces it to gossip, I don't shrug it off. I don't play along. I cut it clean. Because your name is sacred to me. It is not a punchline. It is not background noise. It is the prayer that built me into this new man. And the third line, her presence is my boundary. That means if the environment cannot hold you with respect, then the environment does not hold me either. I will not stay where you are unsafe. I will not call home a place that calls you too much. I will not claim family from people who cannot treat you as family, because being with me should never mean being unsafe with others. I can hear the old voices already. You've changed. You're too serious. You're letting her control you. But baby, they don't understand. This isn't about control. This isn't about submission. This is about love finally growing a backbone. This is about me refusing to be spineless when it matters most. And if that makes me different, then thank God I'm different. Thank God I'm different. The old me was a liability. The new me is a covering. I keep thinking about the ripple effect. What if some little girl at that dinner table sees the way I stand up for you and realizes she deserves that too? What if some teenage boy hears the way I speak your name and learns that respect isn't weakness, it's manhood? What if the people who once mocked our love walk away realizing they just witnessed something holy, something weightier than their jokes? That's what this vow is. It's not just about us. It's a message to the room, to the world, to anyone who thinks they can treat your light like it's disposable. The message is clear. Not here, not her, not ever again. And baby, there's something else I have to confess. When I swore last night, I wasn't just thinking about the outside world. I was thinking about me. Because the truth is, sometimes the one who hurt you most wasn't a stranger. It was me. The times I pulled away when you needed closeness. The times I got defensive when you needed tenderness. The times I chose pride when you needed peace. And I swore last night, not only will I protect you from them, but I will protect you from me, from the boy in me, who didn't know how to love without wounding. From the pride in me that thought silence was strength. From the selfishness in me that thought you'd always stay, no matter how absent I was. That version of me died last night, and in his place, a man rose up who knows that protection starts here, within. So let me say it plain. You will not have to guard yourself against me anymore. My words will not be daggers. My tone will not be cold. My distance will not punish you. My love will not make you question your worth. I swore last night to never again let my own wounds bleed onto you, to never again let my unhealed places become your burden. I swore to carry my weight so you could finally rest. And baby, I wonder, when you hear all this, does something in you unclench? Do you feel the shift, not in the promises, but in the posture? Because posture doesn't lie. You'll know I'm serious, not because I shout it, but because you feel the room change when I walk in. You'll know because your body will stop bracing. You'll know because your spirit will stop asking, will he speak this time? And start saying, I know he will. That's the fruit of a vow. Not noise, but peace. Not fireworks, but freedom. So here's what I ask of you, baby. If any part of you feels this shift, if any part of you believes this vow, meet me in it. Speak your truth without shrinking. Tell me when you're tired. Tell me when something feels wrong. Tell me what safety looks like for you. I'll listen. I'll learn. I'll adjust. Because this vow wasn't made to turn me into a warrior while you stand quiet. It was made to make us both louder, freer, safer together. If you feel this in your bones, if you feel the difference, if your heart says, finally, he gets it, then comment, I feel safe with this love. Let the world know safety is sacred, love is holy, and vows are meant to be lived, not just spoken. Because, baby, last night was the end of the old me, and today it is the beginning of us. Rebuilt, reborn, redeemed. Baby, do you realize what that means? It means we don't have to keep repeating the same cycles anymore. It means I don't have to drag yesterday's failures into tomorrow's sunrise. It means you no longer have to look at me and wonder if my love will vanish when tested. No, this is different. This is steady. This is grounded. This is me, finally awake, finally present, finally ready to love you with the kind of strength that makes the world step back in reverence. I know I can't erase the nights you cried alone. I can't undo the moments where my silence felt like betrayal. But I can flood the future with so much honesty, so much protection, so much devotion that those old shadows can't survive. I can make sure that every time you reach for my hand, it's there, warm, steady, unshaking. Because love is not about what I promise in grand speeches. It's about what I practice in ordinary moments. And baby, my practice is now my vow. Baby, this is the part I've been walking toward since the moment the vow left my lips. The final part, the place where promises stop sounding like intentions and start sounding like destiny. Where I no longer just say what I'll do. I show you the man I have become because of what I swore. Last night I told the dark, if anyone touches you again, it's over for them. And today I tell the light, that vow is the new air I breathe. It is not just a reaction to others. It is a revelation of myself, because protecting you is not something I put on like a jacket when danger comes. It's woven into my skin now. It's who I am. It's how I love. It's what I've been remade into. I think back on all the times you held me in my weakness, even when I wasn't strong for you. The nights you whispered courage into me when I was too tired to keep going. The mornings you smiled, even when you were hurting, just so I wouldn't collapse under guilt. You carried me when I should have been carrying you. And baby, I see it now. I see the imbalance. I see the unfair weight. And I swear, never again, you will not have to play protector in places where my voice belongs. You will not have to be the shield when I was created to stand in front of you, beside you, around you. That role is mine now, not because you are weak, but because you are worthy of a love that doesn't make you fight alone. The vow is more than words, it's architecture. I'm building a home where your laughter doesn't check over its shoulder, where your softness doesn't brace for interruption, where your beauty is not treated like a liability, but like a crown. I want every wall of our world to echo one truth. She is safe here. She is safe with me. Because baby, love that doesn't protect is just decoration. And I will not give you something fragile to hang on your heart. I will give you shelter. And yes, I know some won't understand. They'll say I'm too intense, too serious, too devoted. They'll say I've given you too much power. But what they don't realize is that you've always had this power. You've always carried the ability to either make me or break me, not because you demanded it, but because loving you revealed the deepest parts of me. And I am done fighting that truth. If being devoted to you is weakness, then I pray I never feel strong again. Because in this devotion, I've found a freedom I never knew was possible. So let me end with this, baby. Let me leave no shadow, no doubt, no silence. If anyone questions where I stand, let them hear it here. I stand with you, always, loudly, unashamed. If anyone wonders what I will do when the test comes, let them watch as I choose you first, choose you fast, choose you forever. If anyone dares to cross your peace, they won't find a man shrugging in the corner. They'll find a wall they cannot climb, a line they cannot cross, a love they cannot break. And you, my baby, my miracle, my home, you will never again wonder if my silence means you are alone. You will never again doubt if I'll fight for you. You will never again feel the cold of being unguarded when you should be cherished. From now until my last breath, you will know this. You are loved, you are honored, and you are safe with me. So here is the outro, the final thread I tie around this vow. If your heart believes this message was for you, if your soul felt his voice rise in these words, then don't leave this space in silence. Comment, I am safe in love, so the angels see your faith. Share this with someone who has been waiting for a love that protects, not just a love that promises. Subscribe so you never miss the words your spirit has been waiting for. Because baby, this isn't just the end of one message. It's the beginning of a new chapter. A chapter where vows are not hidden, where truth is not late, where love is not unsafe. A chapter where you finally rest without fear, because you know he swore it, he meant it, and he is living it. And I swear again, with everything in me, if anyone touches you again, it's over for them. Because I am here, because I am yours, because you are mine.